Hi everyone. I kind of thought it was time to do a video, like a follow-up to the Camino, and it's been about 6 months. I think right about 6 months, actually, a couple days, since I started the Camino de Santiago last September of 2018. And I wanted to, I know a lot of people have just asked me, like, you know, what's it been like since I've been back, and have asked me to do a follow-up, so I just thought I finally would. When I got back from the Camino, as a couple of my videos afterward implied, I really had a hard time readjusting to everyday life. And I think that one of the main reasons for that was that on the Camino I became like so aligned with who I really was, and really, especially at the very end, started to kind of just break open and get to the real me in a way that I had never experienced before. You know, I'm a seeker. I'm a spiritual junkie, and so for me, I've kind of been doing this for years and years. But the Camino took me to an entirely new level, and really, I think, just helped me to peel away all those days on the trail, all those days away from my everyday life. Really helped me to peel away all the things that weren't me, that were just kind of the fabric of everything that I had created around me, and rather than being of my essence. And when you're on the Camino, I really feel like it gives you a chance to find your essence. So when I came home, I was her. I was closer to her than I'd ever been before. And doing that, and coming home and kind of being, you know, pushed full throttle back into my life, really brought up all the things in my world that were not congruent, that were not in alignment with my spirit, and that were not in alignment with the real me. So I questioned a lot of things and wanted to change a lot of things. And one of the major things for me that I didn't talk about on the Camino, because I was so unsure about it, was my marriage. And since I got back, my husband and I have decided to divorce, and we're almost through that process. It's actually been a really beautiful process. My husband is an incredible guy, and a wonderful person, and I still have love for him, but in a different way. And we wanted to go through a process that was very amicable and full of kindness and love and respect, and that was the goal. And so far we're upholding that standard really, really well. I'm so grateful to him for seeing that even though we weren't meant to be together, that it could still be a beautiful process, and that we could, you know, part ways after 23 years of marriage, and still have a family unit, and still have do things together as a family, but that we're just kind of on different planets, you know, when it comes to what we want out of life and what we want to do and how we want to spend our time. And it just seems more, it just seems right to be on our own. So I've been on my own now for a couple months, I guess, and things are going great. It's an adjustment for sure. I haven't been on my own since I was 20 years old. So lots of growth, lots of new experiences. So that was one thing when I got back that was really clear to me, that was something that I needed to do, and was probably one of the bigger steps that I've ever taken in my life, to do something that my heart was calling me to do. Other things, so many other things that I've gotten from the Camino. I really learned on the Camino how much focus I put on responsibility, and how much I don't allow myself to play. And so I've really been working on allowing more play and not being so damn responsible all the time, and trying to let loose more and go with the flow more. It's actually a little ironic to me because in my spiritual work, in my readings that I do for people, I bring through this information all the time about play and how important it is to feed our spirit and nurture our spirit. So I guess I'm kind of stubborn, and it took something like the Camino to teach that to me. Now I want to go back and do the Camino all over again and have way more fun. So I'll get to that. What else? I really understood when I got back that I didn't want to be anything other than me. I'm a realtor by the day. My day job, I'm a realtor. I also have my intuitive work, and I'm a spiritual teacher and do readings for people, but real estate pays my bills. And I've even been having more fun in real estate, just really enjoying the people that I work with, enjoying the process, I've always been grateful for the opportunities, but even more grateful than I've ever been before. I think part of that's to do with being on my own too, and knowing that I'm now financially independent and responsible for my well-being and my kids, and so I'm trying to have more fun at work. When I got back, I also it took me a long time to even watch TV or, whoops. Okay, I think that's still going. My phone did a weird thing. Even watch TV or listen to the radio. I really appreciated silence, and I've always incorporated quite a bit of silence into my life. But now I try even harder to stay off my phone. I've deleted all the games. I only had 2, but I deleted them. I'm trying to spend less time distracted and more time in life. I think about the Camino every day. This might sound a little strange if you haven't been on the Camino, but I seriously think about it every day. And I know that the people who have walked understand this. It calls me all the time. I think it's just, I don't even know how to describe it. I actually think it's kind of indescribable, but there's just an energy there, an experience there, an opportunity to be so close to God and so close to yourself, and yet be having all of these incredible experiences. And I can't wait to go back. I don't know when I will, but I really, really want to go back. I did hike quite a bit when I got home, until winter, until there got to be kind of too much snow, and then I wussed out, and then I haven't really gotten back into it yet. There's no excuse now. The weather's good. So I hope I will soon. I just need to make some time. Spring is my busy season in real estate, so I have been really, really busy, but I do want to do more hiking. What else can I tell you? My backpack hangs in my closet. I stare at it every day when I get dressed in the morning. It's just a reminder to me of, I guess, being on the way, being on that journey where you're discovering yourself, and you're with yourself, and you're your own best friend. Okay, so my daughter came by and I had to stop the video, and now I'm starting again. So some other things that I learned from the Camino were that I really, as I got more and more to understand who I really am, the more I started to appreciate who I was, and the more I wanted to be her, the more I wanted to be my authentic self, and who I am at my essence. And so that factors into everything I do now. I want so much out of life, and I think the Camino also kind of raised my expectations for what kind of life I want to have and what kind of experiences I want to have. It made me not want to take anything for granted. I want a life that is rich and full and has lots of experiences and travel and opportunities. And ever since I got back from the Camino, I just feel like the bar is up here. Like there's such a higher bar for how awesome I want my life to be. I want to be the best that I can be in my work, in my work as a realtor, and in my work as an intuitive guide. And another thing that's happened is, in the couple of years prior to the Camino, I was really going through some hard times, especially with my marriage. Not that anything was that horrible, but knowing and feeling that changes were coming. Spirit had been talking to me about changes that were coming, and I fought it tooth and nail. It's really hard to fight your intuition when you know it's there, but there were just things that I didn't want to look at, and that I didn't want to see, and that I didn't want to have to deal with. And quite honestly, there were things, that Spirit was telling me about that I was thinking, you've got to be kidding, that I'm going to have to go through this. So the couple of years prior to the Camino were just really hard, full of kind of lots of sadness, lots of struggle, lots of indecisiveness, really wondering what to do with my life. And after the Camino, I've just felt so much lighter, and so much more clear, so much more clear about who I am and what I want. And along with that comes kind of this clarity about using my intuitive gifts. I'm reading for a lot more people. I've been reading for more people around the world, which I find just so exciting. I've begun teaching again, and I have a lot more plans for teaching. Teaching about intuition, sharing my intuitive gifts with people. Real estate's been going great. Work just seems to be so much easier because I'm so much happier while I'm doing it. There's just so many benefits. And I think for a lot of people that come home from the Camino, just in talking with people online and Facebook, and people message me about my video and stuff, I think a lot of people come back home and are kind of faced with the reality that their current life doesn't match who they authentically are. And so there comes the work, right? Then you have to decide, who are you going to serve? The authentic and real you, or the you that you've created at home? And it's scary making changes, terrifying, in fact. I can say that for me, making the decision about my marriage and having to tell my children was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, but such a hard decision to pull the trigger on what I knew my heart was asking me to do. So if you're someone who, has just gotten back from the Camino, or is going to do the Camino and come back into your life that you've created, and all the roles that you have, and the persona that you have, and all the hats that you wear, just know that moving in the direction of your spirit, listening to your heart, becoming who you really are, and allowing the outside world that you live in to match, to vibrate, to align with that version of you, is so rewarding. Yes, it's terrifying, and yes, we think, oh my God, I can never do that, or how could I do that, or how can I make these changes? There's something that I always teach my students, is one of my favorite things, and Spirit gave this to me many years ago, and that is that if something is honestly in your highest and best good, then it is automatically in the highest and best good of everyone involved, even if it doesn't seem like it from your human perspective. And so that means that if you have a decision to make and it's truly the best thing for you, it will be the best thing for everyone else. It just might not look like it from your eyes. There might be lessons that those people will learn as a result of your decision. There might be new opportunities that they have. There might be growth that they have of their soul. There's so many things that ripple effect out. And just because it may look scary and bad doesn't mean that it is. In my case, you know, I was literally like stuck in my tracks around this decision, around my marriage, and terrified beyond belief that I could not do what my heart was calling me to do. And in the end, you know, the torture of the decision itself was far, far, far worse than once the decision had been made. Once the decision had been made, luckily for me, my husband was gracious and generous and loving and kind, and I want nothing more than to return that to him. And our kids seem to be doing really, really well, and we've taken it, you know, slowly. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I hope for you, if you have any major decisions to make before or after your Camino, or just in life in general, that you allow yourself to move in the direction of your heart, because there are really wonderful things on the other side if you can listen to that inner voice that you have. And if you have trouble listening to your inner voice, call me and I'll read for you. So anyway, I am glad to be back, even though I miss the Camino every day. I remember someone told me that you can't just live on the Camino, that you got to bring the Camino home, and you've got to integrate it into your life and make it a part of who you are. And I really took that to heart, and I've really been trying and will continue to try to do that. And it's part of the reason that I won't go back yet is I know that I'm still integrating and I'm still making little changes and shifts all the time. And when the time is right, then I'll know, and you'll all hear about it because I'll want to share my journey, I'm sure. By the way, this is so funny, but I did the videos for family and friends at home, and put them on my Facebook page because I really wanted my friends and family to, you know what I was doing on the Camino and kind of understand my experience. I later put them on YouTube so that I wouldn't lose them because they were getting lost like in my Facebook feed, you know? So I put them on there, and now they're being shared with so many people, which was never my intention. But boy, has it worked out well because I've made so many friends and had so many beautiful, supportive people come into my life as a result of it. So next time, I think I'll want to share again because you're just all so awesome. So thank you, and Buen Camino.